My district, District 15, east side of Colorado Springs, is one of the fastest, I think it's the second fastest growing district in the state of Colorado. And I think the fastest one is just my representative south of me. So I can't imagine why we in this building think that we know more about that type of growth than the people sitting there in that place. The county commissioners have spent a lot of money and resources and time and energy trying to figure out, how do we do this? What is the best way to do this? And it's not just about where to put some houses. There's so much more to this subject than just where to put some houses or how to utilize the property as it sits. And I see a lot of bills that come through here, and when the discussion happens down at the well, there's a few things that I recognize. Is whether or not that bill was actually created and discussable by the people that are sponsoring it. This is one of those bills where that's obviously not the case. There's not, even some of the things we were talking about master plan, and that this is not about zoning. That's what master plan means. That's literally the definition of that, is you've got a plan to do what? Or are you going to put businesses there? Or are you going to put houses there? That's zoning. That is literally zoning. This bill is about those kind of things. But when we get up and say, hey, do this, but it's not about this, it's not about this, it shows that this comes from, my opinion, comes from the governor's office and doesn't come from within this body. And so now this is a control issue that's coming from the governor's office that we're trying to say, and it's not about property rights, it's about controlling local municipalities using the subject of property rights as that controlling mechanism. You can't just take a piece of property and say, okay, you get property rights, says you get to do what you want with that. I'm all about property rights, but I also understand you have to have a bunch of other stuff involved. Well, that's what the county commissioners do. That's what the city council does. They make these decisions and say, how can we take what is going to cost millions of dollars to put infrastructure into this locale so that the individual property owner can do X, Y, Z. That is a master plan, that's a zoning, that's development. All of that is included within that, with about 20 other things involved. This isn't just an individual property rights mentality, which again is pretty disingenuous with a lot of the conversations we have here at the well. But the idea that can just happen, that's not a possibility. There has to be all of this other stuff that goes into it. Here's the people that need to make that decision. The people that are going to be living in that neighborhood or living beside it, the people that are going to be elected into the county commissioner seats and city council seats that are making decisions about that property in their location. They know why they're doing this stuff. There is actually legitimate reasons sometimes. This is another disingenuous part. We stand up here and talk about water rights like crazy, and then a bill like this basically says we don't even care if they get water, much less water rights.
Representative Bottoms, disingenuous implies that people are attempting to mislead, so...
I think that's true. I think there's a misleading aspect to this bill that is very strong, that says we're not going to provide this and this and this, but you can just use your property rights the way you want. That makes no sense. That's for county commission.
You are not impugning motives or intentions. Thank you.
Right, correct. We're tracking together. The idea that the county commissioners cannot make that decision makes no sense. That the city council can make that does not make that decision makes no sense. The fact that a state body would say, well, we're going to tell you how to do this. Even in Colorado Springs, that you just don't have the right to do that. Then when you get into these rural areas and say, I know what, I've never even been to some of those places, but I'm going to tell you how you're going to build, how you're going to use your property. That makes no sense. That is not what this body is supposed to be doing. This is the opposite of what this body is supposed to be doing. I believe strongly in local control. Let the people there make the decisions for them. Why don't we do that? Why do we think we know better? Sitting in this small room, we know better than the people that are living there every single day and trying to figure out how to build this house or this strip mall or something else. How are we the ones that are deciding this? This is not the job of this body, and I strongly urge a no vote on this bill.